What's up, guys? Ryan here. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make your first $1,000 online using meta ads, using lead generation and selling leads to clients. You're going to generate them and then sell them for a profit. Okay. And the best part is you get paid up front when you sell leads. This way you can scale this very effectively, and you just need to focus on one niche at a time. This is the model that I use to generate, between 100,000 and 200,000 in lead sales every single month for my business. It takes me 4 hours a week probably. So I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. First things first, let's go over the model really quickly. So we are essentially going to create a lead generation brand that is going to serve as kind of the hub that we have. Instead of working with clients and working on retainer and going to their accounts and running their stuff for them, we are going to create a brand. So I'm actually going to create the brand for you in this video and show you exactly how I would take that brand, show that brand to clients and say, we've got leads. Do you want some? Sell them orders of leads. And so, for example, someone might buy 100 leads off me. I would go and take the money that they paid up front for those leads, spend it on Facebook, and then I'd make the difference. So if they bought leads for 100 and I got them for 50 on Meta, I would make $50 per lead. That's $5,000 profit. Okay. And that's exactly how we scale our business. It's as simple as that. And hopefully don't overcomplicate it in this video. So let's jump on the computer. I'm going to show you the setup. I'm going to build out a brand. I'm going to do it all right here. Show you the basics. Okay, let's do it. We are on ChatGPT here. Right off the bat, I just threw this prompt in here just to show you how easy it is to make a website. So I've got, I'm going to do personal injury for this video. It's a niche that a lot of people have been asking about. I just had it make a logo for me. So legal defender, personal injury. Again, you could do legal llama. You could go get more fun. You could do legal defender. You could do something personified like Insurance Ian that we've done. That would be like legal Leonard or something like that. I actually kind of prefer going a little bit more broad here. So legal defender could be anything. It could be personal injury, could be mass tort, could be any sort of law, right? Family law. And so boom, we've got a logo. Obviously you could mess around with ChatGPT, change the colors up, or you could go and create a logo yourself on Canva. I don't care how you do it. You don't have to worry that much about it. This looks perfectly fine. Apologies to all the graphic designers. I do think there's very skilled graphic designers that AI cannot replicate, but for the purpose of this video, we just need a simple logo. Okay, now we're going to use Lovable. This is something that I've been blown away by recently, so I'm going to attach the logo here, and I'm going to get it to make a website for me. Build me a simple one-page website using this logo for a legal brand that helps people find the right lawyer for their personal injury claim. The hero should mention how we help people win 47% more in their case, and they only pay if we win the case. Okay, something like that. So the cool thing about personal injury is your best hook and offer is kind of built in, because someone gets in a car accident, they hire a lawyer. The lawyer only gets paid if they win the case. Okay, so that's going to give you a very strong basis. Okay, so we're going to start this website here. Love my coffee. Okay, so it's going to start building. While that's building, let's check out a site that we've built, and we'll come back to this. So this is an example of one of our sites, Money Saving Scout. This is a very broad site that we're working on. Deals in just 3 clicks. It can really work in any niche. We could do home service, we could do home insurance, we could do finance, we could do local business. So something we're working on here. Again, this was built, I believe, on Lovable, but pretty simple website. If they say start for free, they can go into a quiz and learn about any sort of options here. So this is kind of a long-term play. There is some SEO being built into this, although I don't suggest that you focus on SEO, especially at the start. You want to verify that you can make things work with paid ads first, because if I start focusing on SEO, I might get a lead after like 3 months, but I could start running Facebook ads tomorrow and get 10, 20, 30 leads. Okay, so you want to focus on paid ads. And that's what we're going to do in this video, is we're going to focus on paid ads. So first things first, let's say we have our brand. We're going to see what our brand looks like in a second here, but we've got our brand now. We've got a website. We've picked a niche, which is personal injury. And I do have a video on niches, and I've also updated the niche list with a bunch of different information on, I think there's probably 100 niches in there in Leadbase Pro. So you can check that out, link in the description if you're interested in that. And I'll probably end up doing a video on the updated version at some point. But we've got a niche, we've got a brand. Now we need to get clients. The first thing I suggest you do is go get a client. So a lot of people, they're trying to test ads, they're running personal injury, trying to make the perfect they're trying to get the perfect lead, but they don't have any feedback on the other end. Unless you're actually in personal injury or you're in the niche you're working in, running tests should only be done with a couple bucks just to make sure, some of your creatives are working, your click-throughs are decent, you're actually getting some leads with meta lead forms, okay? So it's important, I think, to get a client first. And I like to get the client first because it throws me into the deep end. I take some money up front from the client. Maybe I sell them 20 lead starter pack, for 50 bucks a lead, which would be $1,000. I've got $1,000. Now I need to go spend that and I need to make the difference, which would be the profit. That being said, on the first order, I don't even try and make a profit on the first 2 or 3 orders. I'm just trying to make the client happy, focus on getting as much feedback as quality, get them high quality leads. If you can get high quality leads, the rest is going to be easy. Like I'm not even kidding. Getting high quality leads your clients can work and close is the hardest part because you need to learn what the nuances are of the niche and what works for the client. If you can get to the point where you have high quality leads, they will, I've heard this a few times before in my life, give us as many leads as you can get us. And that's where you can scale this way, okay? So first things first, you want to get a client. I like to do a few things to get clients. Run ads on Facebook, cold email, or LinkedIn. I'm going to show you the Facebook way in this because I can show you a quick example. What I do for cold email and LinkedIn is I pay for Sales Navigator for a month. You can get it for free for a month, and if you want to bootstrap this. And then I also get a separate, multiple separate domains for cold email, but you could just get one single separate domain from your main domain. So legaldefender.com, I might have legaldefenderleads.com. I don't want to burn my main domain, but I would just use a separate domain and then just start manually emailing people. Start to build out a curated list of the clients you want to work with and just email them directly. It's as simple as that. That's how I've literally got my best clients just from emailing them directly and saying pretty much this. Hi client, hi Mr. Potential Client. I've been generating, I say 100 to 200 leads per day through various brands in the personal injury space, wondering if you'd be open to talking about a partnership, wondering if you'd be able to take some of these leads, wondering if you need more lead flow, wondering if you'd be, etc. So just very simple pitch. I'm generating a ton of leads. Do you want some of them? That's it. Don't overcomplicate your emails. And then, and for sure, like with cold email, you should have like an unsubscribe option at the bottom. There's different things you should take into consideration. This isn't a cold email video though, right? So my pitch is very simple. We need to keep things simple, guys. That's like the thing that I'm realizing more and more this year is just keep your funnel simple, keep your offer simple. So my offer is very simple on cold email and LinkedIn. Got some leads, do you want some? Generating lots of leads, do you want to partner? Keep it open-ended. You don't have to say cost per lead. You don't have to say, do you want to buy some leads off me? You say, I've got leads. Would you like to discuss partnering and having you take some of those leads? Okay. That's going to open up the potential of booking a conversation with them. And for the ad side of things, okay, I've got life insurance agents ads here, Money Saving Scout. I was messing around doing it in Spanish. The lead cost is actually different. We had an issue with this. I think it's closer to it's under $20 per lead here. Some tracking issues. So yeah, I can see 22, but I think it's even better than that. So all I do in my ads, and I keep telling people to do this and they just make their ads too complicated, but I'm very offer focused. Life insurance agents want qualified leads. That's it. Okay. Then they click and they go to, it's still live. They go to this, there's a loom. We've got leads, schedule a demo. That's it. I'm booking calls for like 20 bucks. You're going to be able to close clients for somewhere between $50 and $100, and they're going to spend $1,000 up front. If you can keep them on board, it's going to pay, extremely high dividends to you. Okay. So that's it. That's the simple ad I like to run. Let's jump back to our website and see how it's doing. Okay. So we've got a site built out here. Is it perfect? No, but it's looking pretty good. Let's see. Preview. Oh, this is the preview. So I guess this is probably a dynamic updating thing here, I think. Got why choose Legal Defender, specialized expertise, no win, no fee, proven track record. Okay. I like it. I mean, so this looks pretty good. You can mess around with Lovable, obviously, but it's such an affordable way to make a website. I mean, you don't need to spend tons of time and money on your lead gen website. You just need to look professional, and then you're going to go and sell with this site. So this site is going to help you sell. You're also going to run your leads through it. You don't need a separate agency site unless you want one. So I have Canva marketing. Then I also have all my different brand websites, my different niche websites. Okay, so here's one more look at it. I think I just need to give it an actual amount here. So, on average, this much more in your case. We have 36% higher settlements, 0 upfront costs, and 24/7 support available, something like that. So it's just giving me a fill in the blank there. I could probably blend this logo in a little bit better. There's things that you can improve here, but man, this makes it pretty easy to create. So a really cool tool there. So I would take my Legal Defender logo, and I would plug it into my ads, and I'd run ads through Legal Defender. Simple as that. I'd run ads, cold email and LinkedIn through my personal LinkedIn, but also through a kind of branded email. We're looking professional. We look like an established company. We've got leads. Do you want some? That's it. Okay. Then I got to go create some creatives. So I've already put in a script here, or started to create a script with Rivid.AI. Write me a punchy script for personal injury that focuses on how we can get way more with a lawyer in your case and only pay if we win. Insurance companies offered me my client $12,000 for a broken wrist with a slip and fall. She almost took it because she thought that was fair. I told her to wait. After I dug into the case, found the store knew about the wet floor for hours and no warning signs, and discovered she needed surgery. We settled for $85,000. That's 7 times more than their initial offer. Legal stuff is scary, man. I'm in Canada. We don't really sue people up here. This is scary. Anyways, Revid's unreal. It's unreal. I almost don't want to tell people about it because it's so good. So I'm going to use this script, create the video now. Let's go with moving AI images. Ooh, let's try AI video. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. Let's go educational. I like using educational. I'm going to go math focused and trust building. I just like to give it these prompts. Just going to go with the basic voice here. Brian's pretty good. This one's pretty good. Generate video. And we're going to give that some time. We could also create ads in ChatGPT. So we have a custom Leadbase ChatGPT that's available with Leadbase Pro for $99. Sorry to gatekeep, but I'm going to show you how to do it without it. By the way, guys, as always, you can join Leadbase Pro for $99 a month. Down below, you join 320 other businesses and agencies. You get access to 2 to 3 weekly calls, depending on the week. An entire course that we're updating all the time, client acquisition training, every template we've ever used to build our business. It's all there, guys. And if you hate it, I'll give you your money back. We guarantee you'll get a client in 60 days if you follow the program. Okay? It's pretty simple. It's $99, not $12,000 like some programs out there. Crazy. All right. So I'm going to pause this. I'm going to put a prompt in here and then we'll see what we get. Okay, guys, I've said it once and I'll say it again. ChatGPT is a tool that is going to help you do things more efficiently, but it is not. You need to be a marketer, okay? So you can't trust it to literally do everything for you. You have to know what you're doing. But we can use it to build a base for us. We can use it to build some Revid prompts. We have to start to understand our client base, though. So let's think about legal for a second. We've got a pretty competitive niche. We've got lawyers out there. Some of them know how to close leads. Some of them don't. We've got people who maybe have been in an accident and think they could just go through insurance or settle on their own. What is going to push them to work with a lawyer? Well, when you work with a lawyer, you could, like Revid showed us, close 5 times more, and you only have to pay the lawyer if you win. Oh, but maybe you've heard that before and you don't trust it. So how can we build more trust on top of that? What else can we do here, right? So we just got to think about these things as we create our ads. So let's see what ChatGPT pumps us out here. I told it to make me 3 ads that get right to the point on how Legal Defender will help you get 5 times more in your case, and you only pay if we win. So I'm speaking from the point of Legal Defender being the one to take the case on, but we would match you with a lawyer, and that would be translated in the funnel. Get what you deserve, 5 times more. Headline injured, don't settle for less. With Legal Defender, clients win up to 5 times more for the personal injury cases, and you only pay if we win. It's pretty simple. I would 100% start with something like that. I don't need a giant essay. People don't care. People don't care about you. They don't care about your brand. They just want money. They want stuff. They want what they want. Okay? No win, no fee, bigger payouts. Why take on insurance companies alone? Legal Defender levels the playing field. Our clients earn 5 times higher settlements and pay nothing unless we win. Okay, so very simple ads. I would continue to build off of this. I would say, like, write me a story-based ad on how Sonia won $125,000 instead of settling by herself for 30. Okay, so we can write a bunch of different types of ads here. Again, our custom GPT kind of builds in some of the philosophies that we have and helps you do this a little bit more efficiently, but you can totally do this yourself. And again, don't just take what ChatGPT gives you. You got to build on top of these. But again, we only have so much time in this video, guys. So she almost settled for 30, then she called Legal Defender. Unreal. After a car accident, Sonia was exhausted, hospitals, lost wages, pushy insurance adjuster offering her $30,000 to settle fast. Felt like her only option until she found Legal Defender. Our team reviewed her case. And by the way, guys, obviously this name's probably taken. So you got to do some research on what is available in terms of domains and stuff like that. Result, $125,000, more than 4 times the original offer. Sonia didn't pay a cent until we won. Don't leave money on the table. Click see if the case qualifies. Boom. Like ads like this, straight to the point. This is a story based. You can do testimonial based. There's tons of options. Okay. Let's check on Revid. All right. Here's our Revid.
Insurance companies offered my client $12,000 for her broken wrist from a slip and fall. She almost took it because she thought that was fair.
Don't do it.
I told her to wait. After I dug into the case, found the store knew about the wet floor for hours, had no warning signs, and discovered she needed surgery, we settled for $85,000. That's 7 times more than their initial offer. You only pay me if we win, which means I'm motivated to get you every dollar you deserve.
Nice. That video thing's kind of cool. I would probably just use the moving AI images next time. You could also change this to be, not like if I win. You could say if we win, if legal defender wins. Obviously, you can mess around with the script, guys. Again, I'm showing you the basics in this video. Another thing you could do is actually go with ChatGPT and say, make me a Facebook ad that's 1080 by 1080 for this copy, whatever. Let's just see what it pumps out. So you can mess around with Facebook creating these. I used to use Canva. Now a lot of times I just make ChatGPT make it for me because it's easier to format, and I'm a terrible designer. And then what I'm going to do here is, again, I need to start actually running ads to get leads to sell to my clients. So, obviously I've hopefully closed the client to this point with Legal Defender. I've got some orders in. Now I need to generate leads. So what I would do is I want to start with lead forms, but I don't want to give my clients any of the lead form leads because they're going to be pretty poor quality. So I guess the advanced version of this video is already getting pretty long, but you could test on lead forms, but then you're going to want to move to a funnel pretty quickly. So we build our funnels on Unbounce and with lead capture. You can get discount codes for those in the description as well if you want to. You don't have to. We want to build a more extensive funnel because sending leads to a actual website funnel or a funnel built on Unbounce is going to be a much higher quality. Don't build your funnels on GHL. Don't build your funnels inside WordPress. You need something like Unbounce that's dedicated to building funnels. It loads faster. It's going to convert better. It's going to pay for itself with 3 leads. Like 3 leads are going to be so much cheaper than what you would have paid for. It's going to pay for itself. Okay, it's the GOAT. So you can start with leads regardless, and then we'll go through and build this campaign quick. Okay, so simple campaign structure. We would go, what I would preferably do here, so this is the kind of the way I test things now, is I would say testing phase, and you could run the testing phase on your own dollar. So what I actually think is the best way to do this is you get the client, during your client acquisition phase, you do run some testing. Okay, I just don't want you to rely on your testing and be like, I need to make my leads perfect before I get a client. You're working on getting a client, might take you a couple weeks to get a client, but in the meantime, you're running a testing phase. And what the testing phase looks like is you've got a campaign, you've got 10 plus ad sets and 1 ad in each ad set. And you're running maybe $5 per ad set, okay? This allows us to control exactly how much spend we got on every single creative. Especially when we're starting out, we need to see what's working because you don't know what's gonna work. Trust me. I always think I know, and then it's the opposite of what I think. So you need to test. So testing phase, you can do this with lead forms because lead forms allow us to test with very little friction, but allow us to kind of verify if our creative is working. So I wanna go ad set budget. I think they force you to do Advantage Plus, so I haven't set one of these up in this account for a while, so let's see what happens. Okay, so we don't need a special ad category. I'm going to go into the ad set level. You would select Legal Defender. Right now I've skipped the drill on here, which is one of our other brands, but you'd select your brand there, which is your data set. Conversion event would be lead, and we want to start. Geez, they complicate the crap out of this thing. I wish Facebook would just stop. They should just fire everyone and just keep it as it is because they make it worse every day. Okay, so you're gonna start with instant forms for this test. You're gonna have 10 different ad sets with instant forms, 1 creative per ad set, $5 approximately per day. You're gonna run that test with 10 ad sets, and you're gonna see if any of them get leads. That's great, keep those running. If any of them have a really good click-through rate, maybe over 1.5 to 2%, that's great. That's a key metric that we wanna look at. You can turn off the ones that are bombing and have a terrible click-through rate and have no leads. And you can start to determine, okay, out of those 10 ad sets, 3 of them are working very well. 3 of them are having success. I'm going to keep running those. I'm going to take those, create slight variants of them, and run them in a scaling campaign. Okay, so I might take those and then put them into a $50 ad set together, and I might change just the first line of the copy or the first line of the video on Rivid. Just change the opening hook, see if that changes things. All these little things make a huge difference. I talked about this in a previous video, changing just the headline on your landing page. The first thing that people see is very important. The first thing that people hear is very important. I just go on these rants, guys. Anyways, we want to start with lead forms. So we're going to go instant forms. I'm going to quickly run through this. Oh, I haven't checked it. Whatever. That's fine. I don't know. I guess demo page is on there. I'll just view the terms. I agree. We're going to maximize leads. We are not going to use dynamic creative. I've pretty much retired dynamic creative because it just doesn't load properly inside of Meta. If you try and load the stats on dynamic creative, it just won't even tell you. It just loads forever. So I've just started doing everything completely manually. We're gonna do $5 per ad set. I tend to go a little bit higher, but it depends on what you're willing to spend. So if you're willing to spend, let's say you're willing to invest $200 into testing before you kind of start delivering to your client. Maybe you have 10 ad sets at $5 each. That's 50 per day. But you're turning some off after day 2, and maybe you run about a $200 test. And at the end, hopefully you can determine these 3 or 4 creatives. They've got some leads. I'm going to move them to a website to start delivery for my client. Okay. So you're kind of doing this in tandem, upon acquiring a client. Hopefully the day you get paid from your client, you've run this test and you know, okay, here's the creative that's working. I like to further limit the reach of my ads. So for personal injury, I mean, I'm not a personal injury expert, so I'm just going to kind of throw some stuff up here. I might just go pretty broad on this. You could do personal or lawyer. Again, I'm not an expert in this niche. I would either go super broad or I'd go lawyer and legal services and keep it as broad as that. But then you're kind of competing with other people for these leads. I might start with this though, just to kind of jumpstart the algorithm in a brand new account. If I was you, I would test this versus broad. And again, that's another test that you would have to run in a separate campaign. So maybe you'd start with this. And if you're not seeing success, you might at some point have to test running completely wide open in all of the US. Oh, and this is in Canada, so it's gonna be much broader in the States. So now we're at 44 million. Okay, so there's a lot of people looking to sue each other in the States, let me tell you. Okay, lawyer, 25 to 65. I would probably start with this. That's a really obviously huge audience to work with. And then we would load in one of our ads. Rivid's just downloading. I also got this ChatGPT image that it made me. She almost settled for 30,000. Then she called Legal Defender, got 125K. Sick ad, dude. Make 10 variants of that. If you're really smart, you can API into ChatGPT and do it even faster. Okay, I've got Rivid going. I've got that going. I've got 2 ads now. I'm just going to do that 5 times over for each of them, probably 5 images and 5 videos there. And then we can use, what in the world's going on? Let's create a forum here. Legal Defender. We're going to go more volume. We're going to go, oh my gosh. They sure complicate this. I guess that's fine. I haven't made a lead form in a while, to be honest with you guys. See if your case qualifies for legal defense or whatever. Provide some basic info to see if your case is eligible for a legal review. Something like that. So very simple here. Keep it simple. Questions. Start with email, name, phone number. You could ask like what type of case is this? Was it car accident? Is it fall at work? Whatever. But keep the original form very simple in your very first test. Add your privacy policy. I'm just going to save draft here because I don't want to go through the whole thing. The rest is pretty straightforward. At the end, you could say, step 1 is complete. Step 2, click to call us now, or click to, do some sort of action that you want. I would even say call us now and put your phone number there and see if you can get people calling in, because those are going to be very high intent leads. When these leads come in, I would call all of them and just see what the quality is like, just to see. Maybe you could even pass them like over to your first client. Maybe you could make some money on this first order. Like if you generate 10 to 20 leads, the first ones you generate aren't going to be great, but if you could get 3 of them on the phone and they're interested, those are the first leads you give your client, and they're going to be pretty impressed because those leads you talked to on the phone. You don't have to tell them that. You could just say, these are the ones we generated, and then the first 3 leads they get are going to be dynamite leads. So that's a good little tip there, okay? Set up creative. Let's just start with an image ad, and then I got to get my primary text from ChatGPT. Again, I would definitely take more time than I'm doing here, but I'm just giving you some examples. So primary text. You could add more emojis if you want, something like that. And then I can grab, I'd say, get what you deserve 5 times more. All right, text, headline. So we want to keep the copy pretty simple here too. You could do some slight variants if you want, but I would keep it very simple. We don't want to have too many variables in this first test. I mean, like none of these are that crazy. I might throw in another one. I don't even know how they display this anymore because every account I see looks different when I'm helping people in Leadbase Pro. Like everyone's account just looks different. It's crazy. Don't want to do this. Don't want to do that. That's kind of cool. Translate text. Sure. Why not? Okay. So we've got our ad now. We're going to go to lead form. That's it. Publish. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to name this ad set 1, ChatGPT creative 1. But what you're going to do here is duplicate this 9 times, okay? And you're going to fill in. So we've got all the same targeting for the ad sets. We've got 10 ad sets at $5 each, and you're just going to go into each one. And you can do this faster with Ads Cook, but I actually kind of prefer to just do it manually nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I just like doing it manually. For, sometimes if you go into Ads Cook, you can basically pump this all out pretty quickly, but just when I'm starting something, I just want to do it manually and get a feel for things. And I think it's important that you do that too if you've never worked with Facebook, because weird things happen in Facebook when you duplicate something. It resets a lot of settings nowadays. They try and force you to do AI. I like to just go through everything and make sure it's all working. So what I would do is just switch this one for Rivid, switch this for another variant of the Canva image, switch this for another Rivid video, switch this for maybe a Captions.ai video, switch this for maybe me in the yard being like, hey guys, you can get more money. I'm going to try 10 different ads out, okay? And that's my test. And once I determine that ad 1, 2, and 3 are working the best, I'm going to create slight variants of them, maybe change the opening hook. I'm going to put them into a scaling ad set, 3 to 5 ads per ad set at around $50 per day. Then I can start testing other variables. I'm going to run to a landing page. I'm going to be testing different headlines. And we're always just testing, guys. I got a little more deep into this section than I thought I was going to get. But again, the whole point of this is we've got a brand. We've got a client who's interested in leads. We're going to go run paid traffic for them, and we're going to deliver the leads to them for less than they paid for. So if I'm getting paid $100 per lead, I mean, for a personal injury, you can get like up to $500 per lead. Let's say I'm getting $200 per lead and I can get them for $100 and they're good quality. That's how you scale the business. You sell one of those leads, you've made $100. You sell 100 of those leads, you've made, what's the math there? I think it's 10,000. Yeah, it's 10,000. You made $10,000 profit, okay? So if you can sell 100 leads and $100 profit, that's $10,000. That's 25 leads a week. That's not that hard, guys, okay? So that's why lead gen is so scalable. That's why I love lead gen, is if you can get one good quality lead, it means you could probably get 100. It means you could probably get 1,000. And it's so easy to scale when you focus on becoming a pro in a single niche. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you learned something, guys. I think this is a pretty decent deep dive on what we do. I would, next steps, scaling this, continue filling my pipeline and client acquisition, get as much feedback from every single client, over deliver on my orders. I'm not looking to make a profit for the first quite a while in this. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about quality leads. I'm trying to improve my funnel. I'm adding text verification. I'm adding more questions to my quiz. I'm adding dynamic thank you pages. All this stuff we talk about in Leadbase Pro, link in the description. Then I can move to Google Demand Gen. I can move to Google Search. I can move to YouTube. I'm building this brand, building this empire online in a single niche, becoming an expert. And once I've generated 10,000 leads, I've got a legitimate business. I've got a legitimate brand. I've got a database that I can resell to. If someone comes in for personal injury and they don't sell, maybe I learned that they own a home and they want to buy something else. Maybe they need insurance. Maybe they need a mortgage. Okay. So you start to build this database. You start to build an actual true company and business. So again, I didn't even know where this video was going to go. I just wanted to show you guys how you can this is how you make your first $1,000 online with meta ads, with lead generation. You only need to sell 10 leads at $200 per lead and get them for 100, and you've made your first $1,000. 10 leads. Getting a 10 lead order is not hard. Like if you go into the wins section, I'll do it right now. If you go into the wins section of Leadbase Pro, you can see people crushing it, getting orders. Okay, so this just happened. First sale, $625. First client call success. Started with 10 leads. First client, he made $2,500. Chad here. Started my first landing page. Awesome. 25 leads at $60 each. That's $1,200. 8 booked appointments for leads. 2 batches of 10 leads. Landed my first client. So people are using these simple methods and they're getting clients. It's actually such an easy selling point compared to retainer to say, I've got leads. Do you want some? Okay. So link in the description. Join Leadbase Pro for $99 a month, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I'm losing my voice. I got to go get some more coffee. See you guys.